Hey guys, welcome back to SudokuManiacs. I know, I finally got rid of that beard. The long beard that had been growing because of the lockdown, nothing better to do, no one to meet, so I didn't find any point in shaving earlier. But finally I got rid of it. I could muster enough energy to actually go in and shave. But anyway, coming back to the puzzle. So we continue with our series on the World Puzzle Federation Sudoku Grand Prix set that was authored by the German and the Dutch authors. So this is the fifth puzzle, the fifth variant in the series, and this is an offset Sudoku that was authored by Arvid Bars of Netherlands. Now I am actually, simply speaking, in awe of all these creations for this particular set. I knew with the quality of the authors that we had, the puzzle set would be exceptional. But as and when I'm solving each of these puzzles, my respect and admiration for the authors just keeps on growing exponentially. I mean, once we're solving, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, coming back to the puzzle, this is an offset Sudoku. The rules of classic Sudoku apply, that is, no digit can repeat in a row, column, or a 3 by 3 box. Additionally, a digit that falls or is placed in a gray cell will occur in the nth cell in the next row, where n is the digit which is to the immediate right of the gray cell. So for example, if this was an 8 and this was a 9, sorry, while we are solving, what this means is this digit 8, or rather I'll just change it to 9 and 8. What it means is this digit 9 in the next row will be in the 8th cell, which will be here. And this pattern and relationship will be applicable to all the gray cells that we have in the grid. Alright, so let's start. And what do I always say about starting a variant? Bingo. We started like a classic. So the first thing I see is a 6 here and a 6 here, and with this 6 blocking this cell here, this has to be a 6. Similarly, a 7, 7. This cannot be a 7, this becomes a 7. I think the easiest way to start any variant is to look for the classic steps, because in the end, whatever may be the constraint of the variant, it still has to conform to the rules of the classic Sudoku. So now I have a 6 here and a 6 here, which basically means the 6 has to be in one of these two, right? Now let's see. If the 6 was in the gray cell, then that means the number to the right has to be the position of 6 in the next row, which would be the ninth cell here. So if this were a 6, this would have to become a 9. But we know it's not possible, we already have a 9. So this 6 is ruled out from here and we get a 6 here. Correct? Alright, some progress. Now next what? I know that this is a 6 and a 6. So 6 has to be in one of these two. Alright? So let's put the pencil marks here. Now if the first one was a 6, correct? This cell would be the digit which would be the 6th cell here, which is a 3, and we can place a 3 here, which is possible. Good enough. But with what I see is this 1 is ruled out from these 3 cells, and this 1 blocks this out. And if this were a 6, this would become a 1. Alright? So I would require a digit in this gray cell, which is in the first cell of the next row, which is the 6 here again. Alright? So I can't have two 6s. So obviously this cannot be a 6. This becomes my 6. So I place it, and in the next row I have a 6 in the first cell. So I get my 1 here. So 1, 1. This becomes a 1. And with 6, 6. This is a 6. And these 6s interact with the 6 blocking here. This has to be a 6. So now this 6 is in the third cell of the next row. So I can safely place a 3 here. And 3 with this 3 comes in here. Alright. Now by classic rules, again when I notice, I see a 2 and a 2 with this 2 blocking the here, position here. These are the only 2 cells for a 2. And similarly the 3 cannot be here and this 3 cannot be in these 2. So I get a pair of 2 and 3. Right? Now we have two possibilities for this gray cell. So now let's look at the corresponding position of the next row where they can fall. So what would be the pencil marks here? I can't have a 9, 8, 7, 6. I can have a 5 and a 4. I can't have a 3, 2 and a 1. Right? So which basically means whichever digit comes in this gray cell has to be either in the 4th or the 5th cell of the next row, which would be these 2 cells. But we already have a 3 in that box. So obviously I cannot have a 3 here, so this becomes a 2 and a 3. Right? So my 2's can be placed here. Now, if this was a 2, the position of 2 in the next box is in the 8th cell. So I would require a 8 here, which is still possible. But if this was a 2, that is row 3 and column 5 was a 2, this digit here in the gray cell would be the digit which is already there in the second cell of the next row, which is a 7 here. But I can't place a 7 because I already got a 7 in that row. So I know for sure this cannot be a 2. Right? So the 2 has to be here with the 8 here. Clear so far? Good. Next. What would be my next bet? Oh yes, how obvious. This gray cell, this digit has to be in the 6th cell of the next row, which is we already have a 1 here, right? So this becomes a 1. With this 1 and the classic rules, I get a 1 here. And this becomes my 1. Now this gray cell, whatever be the digit here, has to be in the second cell of the next row. So the possibilities for this cell are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are ruled out. So 8 and 9 are the only digits that can be possible. Alright? And this gray cell, whichever digit comes here, has to be in the third cell of the next row. So the only possibilities for this row are 4, 5 and 9. So this is a 4, 5 and a 9. So let's place 4, 5, 9s, 4, 5, 9s. Alright? So we have a 4, 5, 9, 8. Okay. This is a 3, this is a 3. So these would be the pencil marks for the 3. Oh, 3, 3. This becomes a 3 by classic rule. And since 3 is on the gray cell, the right side digit would be the position of 3 in the next row, which is the 7th cell. So I get a 7 here. And I have a 4, 5 again. And this again becomes a 4, 5, 9. Alright. Now when I look closely at this 4, 5 and 9, I can't have a 5 here because the 5th cell of the next row is occupied by a 6. So if this was a 5, I would require a 6 here, which is just not possible. So I can eliminate the 5 from that cell, right? This would be, okay. So for this column, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this I get as a 9. So 8, and this is an 8, and this becomes an 8 due to the classic rules. So again I have a 4, 5 here, and since this 2 is in the fourth cell, so I can eliminate the 5 from there. This becomes my 5. This is a 5. So I get a 5 here. Now the missing digits are, this is a 3. The missing 5, 5. Okay, so I'll have a 3 and a 5, 3 and a 5 here. So I finally get a 7 here, and this becomes my 7 by classic rules. Now since this 7 is in the gray and has to be in the 6th position, so I place a 7 here. This becomes a 7 and this becomes my 2. Correct? And the missing digits here are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9. But this 7 has to be in this position for the next row, which is the 9th position. So I eliminate the 4 from there and I get a 4, and this would be a 8 and a 4 to complete the row. Because of this 8, this becomes a 4 and an 8. So this is my 5, 9 and a 5, 9. This is a 4, 9, this becomes a 4, 9. So 4, 9, 4, 9 is a pair. So this has to be a 5. Now 5 can either be in the 4th cell or the 9th cell. I can't have the 5 in the 4th cell, right? So this is a 9, which basically makes this a 5 and a 3 here. And let's complete this box 1 here. 4, 9, 4, 9. This is not a 4. I would have a 5, and so this becomes a 3 by classic rules. So this 5 is out, and I have a 4, 9. Now, what this relation means is either the 9 will be in the 4th cell or the 4 will be in the 9th cell. I know for sure the 4 is in the 9th cell, and the 9 cannot be in the 4th cell. So this is my 4 and this is my 9. And this is a 5 and a 9 to fill up the box. Because of this 9, this becomes a 5. 5 of the next row is in the 8th cell, so I get my 8 here. Classic rules 4 cannot be here. This is a 4 and a 2, which satisfies because the 4 is in the 2nd place. So this is a 5, this becomes a 9. So this is a 2 and a 9 to wrap up the row, and we already have a 9 here. So 4, 4, this is a 4, 5, and an 8. I don't know how to describe this, but I'm getting some kind of a innate and inner joy, when I'm solving this set. Such beautiful puzzles. Great job, Arvid, along with the others. I just can't wait for your next set of puzzles whenever you guys make them, because I do want to keep on solving puzzles made by you guys. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, do like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, because we will be presenting such wonderful and beautifully crafted puzzles for you. Oh well. So till the 6th puzzle of this series comes out, happy solving!